Welcome to Dear Alice, a lifestyle approach to interior design.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dear Alice. Today we are talking about agree to disagree.
Yeah.
We at this table have different opinions from each other. We've gotten some questions in, and we find that we feel differently about these things, and we felt like maybe we should fight it out for you.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are going to side with one of us on this, so we're just going to let it all out and see what happens.
And still be friends after.
Yeah.
Or you can yell,
sure.
Wherever you're at, you can be yelling and be like, I don't agree with either of those.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of ways to do things when it comes to design, and a lot of it just depends on your own experience and what you think is most beautiful. And we all find different things beautiful.
Right? Tom once told me, he's like, you guys need to be more like the commentators on ESPN where they just like duke it out, and I'm like, here we go. Yep, exactly.
I told you.
I told you. Anyway.
Yeah, so our attempt at
duke it
that
out.
is now, yes, definitely.
Okay.
First, we wanted to read. We've been getting so many awesome reviews from everyone, so we just wanted to take a second, read a review that we got. We're so thankful for them. But this one is from Haley B90. And she wrote, I look forward to every Thursday listening to this podcast while I fold my laundry. Makes me feel glamorous while I'm doing a not so glamorous thing. I've learned so much, and I recommend this podcast to friends all the time. Seriously, I'm such a fan.
Oh, thank you, Haley B.
She's the best.
That's so nice. Well, I'm glad you feel glamorous when you're able to fold your laundry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
So true.
And we all have laundry to fold, just so you know.
Yes,
so,
we
we
do.
try and find some glamour wherever we can for sure. So
Yep.
Amen. So good. Okay. You guys, let's talk. I wanted to know from each of you at this table, what is your most embarrassing moment? Have you had one recently? Because let me just start.
Yes, okay.
This happened to me this week, which made me want to talk about this to you guys.
Okay.
And you all are going to be a part of this. So I had somebody, one of you, really kindly DM'd me on my Instagram. And it was late in Utah. It was like midnight, and I stay up till midnight anyway, but this night I was particularly tired. So I was like, oh, I read that comment, and I'm like, oh, that's going to require me to really be awake and alert to give a good response. So I'm going to answer her in the morning when I'm more awake. Mm-hmm. So I go to put my phone down, and somehow my thumb has touched something in a DM,
This is awesome.
which allows me to call her through a DM. Did you guys know that
Random stranger.
you could make a phone call? A random stranger and even a fan is getting a phone call in the middle of the night, wherever her time zone is, from me, just calling her. She just made a comment. She's probably like,
Lucky
I don't want to,
caller.
listen, lady,
Lucky you.
I don't want to talk to you. I'm sure she's like, I don't want to talk to you, especially at this time of night. So I'm calling her, and I'm like, wait, that sounds like a phone ringing, because I'm putting it on my nightstand. And I'm like,
oh my gosh.
why would that phone be ringing? And it's a different kind of ring than than our cell phone rings.
Yeah.
It's more like, it feels more like you're in London. It's a phone. Da, 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 da. It's like a different type of ring.
Oh, yeah.
And so I look down. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm calling her. How do you call somebody in a DM? I don't even know her number. She's not in my contacts. So I'm like, shut it down. So I swipe to get out of the app, to shut the app down. Comes up, it's still calling, even though I'm getting out of. So I'm like, how do I turn my phone off? So I go to
You smash it.
Somehow I get the whole thing turned off.
Adam, talk to her.
But that was the other day. I'm like,
on the phone for you.
I'm like in my pajamas, and it feels like it's gonna be FaceTimey. Like it's not just a call. It feels like she's
100%
like
is
the
a FaceTime.
video is
probably.
on, right?
Oh, yeah.
In your jammies.
I'm in my pajamas.
Your makeup off.
Right, I've been laying down in bed, so I'm sure my face is swollen. My hair is everywhere, and I'm looking like the worst possible version of myself. And I'm like, please bless that this goes away.
That's amazing.
Anyway, I finally looked down at it. It finally stopped ringing, and she was like, something about hi, did you want to talk or something like that? And I'm like, no, I don't want to talk. I'm so sorry.
I just don't know how to use my phone.
I was like, did you know that you could call somebody through a DM? Because I didn't, but I just tried. So anyway, we'll talk later. I felt so stupid. Anyway, my apologies. And I also wanted to tell everybody that you can call somebody from a DM. So be careful.
Call Jess anytime.
And if you'd like to talk to Jess,
I think it's somewhere at the bottom of the DM that your thumb might accidentally hit. So just heads up in case you call somebody Yeah,
Like
they
that
DM'd you.
caller.
Yeah, that's like when you're Instagram stalking someone, you accidentally like something, you're like, damn it.
or when you keep like you didn't realize that your thumb had pushed like the voice command, whatever. So you accidentally hit that, and then you're like talking.
Yeah.
Could be good, could be bad, could be smack, could be whatever.
Yeah.
And then you like look down, and you're like, oh my gosh, I just like scribed everything I just said. Please like exit before it pushes send.
Yeah.
I'm
Totally.
a good person, but dang it, like
Select all,
in a sense,
delete. Yes.
Anyway.
Yes. How about you, Cori?
So this happened last night.
Oh, no.
You guys have really curly.
I know.
Really embarrassing.
I do embarrassing stuff on the daily, so it is what it is. This is probably more for my wife, and just like I shouldn't have gotten as worked up about this, but my home backs up to like a yard where they like park trucks like a construction company does. And a couple weeks ago, I get a knock on my door from a guy who lives like 5 houses down. So I had never met him, and he's like, hey, my name's Matt. Are you aware someone's like throwing like wet bread at cars like from that lot? And I was like, dude, I saw some kids back there a couple weeks ago, but like, yeah, I didn't think anything of it. This guy has gotten hit 3 times. It happened like most recently on Saturday night. So he came over, and we were like looking, like from my backyard. Last night I'm driving home from Reams, and I go to like pull into my driveway, and I hear a thud, like, and I was like, that's those kids. Slam my car and park. My kids are in the back. Mari isn't with me. Like, I'm by myself, and I'm just like taking off. Like, I'm getting you guys. Like, I'm like yelling at him and stuff. And literally 10 seconds later, that neighbor who lives 5 houses down, he's like running. He's like, I saw it from my window. Like, he was looking at us through a scope.
Like the Burbs.
Yeah.
The Burbs. Oh my gosh.
He was looking through a thermal scope, so he like saw me like just running around this field and like looking in dump trucks and stuff.
That's so funny.
And Mari was like, what are you doing? I was like, literally, I'm gonna work these kids when I find them now that they hit my truck. Like, it was.
Did you catch them?
No, but we're setting out trail cams.
They're fast.
Yeah. And there's like, they do it. They only hit cars coming into the neighborhood because where they're escaping is like the opposite way. So by the time you like realize what's happening,
These
like,
kids have to be like junior high.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
To be that fast and that smart and sneaky.
Yeah. I was thinking like they're probably 15, 16 maybe.
They're having
So.
the
I know they're
best
laughing
time.
like, old man plays. You got him
I know, right?
Well,
Yeah.
and the mom is like, where's all that fresh baked bread going?
Yeah, I know. There's
Are
like,
they just like soaking dinner rolls and chucking them?
so I took the bread and I threw it back into the field. It was as if that was gonna like do anything. I was like, here's your bread back. I mean, when I was a kid, I would just throw water balloons. That actually happened to me, and I got caught from the guy that chased me. But so I
Served
feel
you
like,
right.
I feel like they get what's coming to them. But
The water balloon does feel a little bit more violent because it explodes where the bread just lands with a thud.
yeah,
It's just like,
but it's like wet bread. It's like you're wasting food too. Like, what are you doing?
Insult to injury.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Ungrateful kids.
how about you, Sue?
man.
What's embarrassed you lately?
You guys, I think this is why I was like, I'm having a hard time placing one because I don't embarrass easily, but I do embarrassing things all the time. Probably that you're embarrassed for. Most of the people are probably like, can't believe she just did that. But I'm just like, it's me. Whatever. But one thing that was really quite funny that we just like still go back. This happened a while ago. And we're at market, and before you when you land at market, you go and you get supplies. You go to Walmart and you get your protein shakes, you get all your things. So we're at Walmart in North Carolina, and we got the big old cart. It's all filled. They're checking out, and I'm like, shoot, we need this. And like, I'm very urgent. Like, if I need something, I need it right now. If I need to turn off the exit, shit, I need to turn right now. So
So true.
all the poor people around me. Anyway, so I think like I was running, I was just like, hey, I'm going to run over here. Not looking at where I'm going. I run into this like sweet little lady with her cart in Walmart, and like we collide. And she was just like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I just need to go get oranges. So she's like,
Just getting oranges.
And she was just like hyperventilating. I'm like, I'm good. You're good. Cool. I'm going to go get my oranges. I go get my oranges, come back, put them in the thing. We're checking out. And she's like behind us or next to us. And she was just like so hyper-focused. And for most people, that probably would have been embarrassing. I guess it was kind of embarrassing. But this is like where it gets really good. Is she like sees me, we lock eyes. She's just like, are you okay? Are you okay? She's just like, that was so scary. I saw my life flash before my eyes. But you know what? I love the Lord Jesus. He guides me every day of my life. And I was just like, that's money right there.
Yeah.
That was good. I'm like, I am good, but thank you for telling me that. I love the Lord Jesus too. Have a great day. Anyway, so for everyone, for the rest of the party, it was probably more embarrassing than it was for me because I have zero shame and I don't embarrass easily. But to this day, we always say, I love the Lord Jesus.
God's
me
my
every day.
path. God's my path every day of my life. Yeah.
It sounds more like a great story rather than embarrassing. Yeah.
Yeah. She's right,
there you
though.
go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
There you go. Okay.
Awesome.
Let's get into it.
Let's get
Let's
into
start to
it.
disagree.
Yes.
We all agree we love the Lord Jesus, though.
Yes.
Shoot.
But
Yeah.
first, let's tell them about our To the Trade service. Because so many of you guys are interior designers that watch or listen. And so we wanted to tell you about a program that we have for you at Alice Lane.
Okay. And what we do is hard. I don't think people like understand how like difficult and how many things you as a designer have to know and have to like deliver to a client and have to complete and like stick the landing. And I did my own thing for a little while before I worked for Alice Lane. And when I was in that place, I wish I had a source like Alice Lane that had so many different vendors that were awesome and were curated and beautiful and also had like the back end to support me. That means just as far as like your ordering, you can order through us. You can like
You're like we
just
store the
storage. Just the storage of just like because
the delivery.
little Jean Doe's like ordering all this stuff and she's like, where should I send it to? Like the house isn't even built.
Yeah.
So we store it for you, we deliver it for you, and that's not only in the state of Utah, that's nationwide. So I'm like, I can't tell you guys enough as designers what a key like to have a support group and a back end. It makes your life so much easier. It makes the client experience so much better. And so you guys really, if you're not already signed up to the Trade program, you should definitely do it. And what you do, you go to alicelanehome.com and on the design service tab, you just go to the drop down and there's a To the Trade. And then you just click on that. You fill out the form and we'll reach out to you and get you all set up. So, yep. And it has all the vendors that like we're using and it has like, we have the best gal that like runs it. Like I would hang out with her. I would go to lunch with her every day.
She's
if I
the
could.
coolest.
She's the coolest. So we really try to make this easier for you guys because we know how hard it is. So let us help you. Sign up for To the Trade and we'll get you started.
Awesome. Thanks, Sue. Okay, let's get into it. Agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one that that I have in my own home, and I did it intentionally just because of the utility of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the TV above my fireplace mantle.
Okay.
You
Fireplace
did
mantle,
it even though you hear us say don't do it.
Yep.
You were just
I did
you
hearken
were
to a lot of you
rebellious.
guys' advice when building the
Mhm.
home.
But the
So,
TV, you
yeah.
just were like, no, this is
I did buy
beautiful.
because I was doing that. I bought the Samsung frame.
Great. What size did you get?
The biggest one. I don't know.
75?
70. Yeah. I couldn't remember if it was 72 or 75. Yeah.
Seuss has that too.
Yeah. I think you were.
Not embarrassing.
You sold me on.
Not
yeah.
embarrassed.
I know. No, it's great. They're beautiful TVs.
My reason
Yeah.
for it is like whenever I only watch TV at night,
Mm-hmm.
and when I do, I'm like laying on my sofa, so my gaze is up,
Mm-hmm.
and that feels relaxing to me. And then if I'm like in the kitchen, which is directly behind it,
Mhm.
I can like see the TV. I got the bigger one,
Yeah.
so it's like I could still see football happening and stuff like that. I'm having
Yeah.
to like Mario makes me do dishes or something, Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah,
Due diligence.
for me,
Mhm.
the utilitarian like aspect of it
Yeah.
outweighs the design. And since I have like the frame, if I'm being totally honest,
Mhm.
it's not as good as like if I had artwork up there.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
But
Come
it's
to
the next
terms.
best thing. Yeah.
Come to terms with that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Do you go or do I go?
Go ahead, Sue.
Okay. I get it. And I'm glad that you found like peace with your decision.
Yeah.
That's great. And that your sofa leans back enough that you can like you're actually like leaning when you're and then so there the reason why we don't typically like, and we've said this before, is just that your natural gaze is like straight ahead, if not lower,
Mm-hmm.
when you're sitting. If you're in bed, I think this is the one time, like if you do have a fireplace, like in Rachel Parcell's bedroom, that's like the only time I like will support.
Yeah.
Well, I don't love you, but I just don't
Mhm.
support it.
That's
in the
okay.
great
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that.
Disagree.
Yeah.
But in the bed, you are laying down. So of course, like your natural gaze is up. So that makes sense with what you're saying. But I think in a normal family room, I still think you are still around, your console's going to be like 33, 36 max, where you're going to like have below your TV. I still like that distance for my viewing. Like when you're like sitting, looking straight ahead, that's still my favorite. Bar none. And I like it just proportionately with everything around. And I just want something pretty above the mantle. So, and a lot of times people are like, oh, but then I have to look right or left, you know, because I'm going to do something on the side of said mantle, you know, but still it just allows that the majority of the time there's something beautiful, but still with modern convenience, but it's not the main focal point. So I'm going to disagree with you, Cori Place, but I love and support you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I agree. Because I think oftentimes the fireplace is the key piece of architecture in a bedroom or in a great room. It's the big ta-da. And so I just think if we're looking through our favorite magazines, we're never going to see a TV above a fireplace. Yeah. So the most beautiful work that we can do, which is our job, is to make things look the most beautiful they can be. Also, to have it function, we would have to come up with a place for the TV to go. But I just think if we're doing the most beautiful job we can do in a show house, in a client's home, we're getting paid to do these homes, we're going to do something more beautiful above a mantle and give that full moment all the way up to the ceiling its fullest, highest potential, and putting a TV there is never going to be the most beautiful option.
It's secondary to me.
So
it is. It is. Now, if you live in a small city home and there's really not very many options, I see that we all want TVs. We all want to be able to unwind at the end of the day for the most part, and we want to be able to get a TV there. So I'm just saying, though, like if we can make things as beautiful as possible, which is always our goal, right?
Yeah. Or if you have a mantle that's sandwiched between two windows and there's no other option, I get it.
Yeah, and I think the frame TV is a great way to have your cake and eat it too.
And even in that case, like in Susan Peterson's house, we had to do that for Tiger Oak. We had to put it above, but we concealed it with like finished work that like disappeared so that I didn't have to look at the TV.
It had
even
doors,
with
right?
The frame. Yeah, it had like these, and it was like plastered the same color as the wall. Beautiful. It wasn't art, but it just felt more like finished work, architectural, and I didn't see a black box. Even with the frame, like you still know it's a TV.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah. And I mean, there's the aspect of it where it's like, do I want the perception that my focal point of my entire living space is like around a TV? Do you know what I mean? Like it's like,
you better have some like killer chairs faced the opposite direction to say that I'm a man that likes good conversation.
Exactly. Yes.
So if you're over here with Homeboy Place, get some good chairs so that I see something else prettier than the TV. That at least graduate me to there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
Disagree. Wish I had like a little like a button.
Wrong. The next one we were talking about, and maybe it's because I've never had one, but like I didn't know this. Like you're just like, oh, home theater, like no way, like it's not my jam.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I'd be like, that would be so fun to just. I love movie nights, like you know, so it'd be awesome to have that.
Popcorn tub.
And if I had that,
Go ahead.
No, but you did offer me yours one time, and so
I for sure did.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
But so maybe if I had a home theater, like I wouldn't put the TV above the fireplace, you know? So
would you actually go downstairs to a lower level where most theaters are? Because we have basements here in Utah and you don't really have windows down there. So the theater's perfect down there. Would you really venture all the way downstairs away from your family and kids and go into that theater and park yourself there for hours and watch a movie by yourself?
For a football game, I would 100%.
You would?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, love my family to death. Grady's actually getting into football games, which is super fun. But sometimes it is nice, just like
zone out.
Yeah, zone out.
Just ignore everyone else and then just like shut the doors and be in a dark room.
Because I do anyway a little bit. Like Mario will be talking to me and I'm like, yeah, and I'm like not really listening, you know? I'm answering, but so yeah, I could do that. But if I'm going down to like, I'm not going to watch 2 episodes of The Office down there, you know? I'll still just do that. And yeah.
Sue, how do you feel about it? Because you also love to go to a movie.
I sure do. I love the cinema.
Yeah.
You know what?
Would you prefer cinema at home or do you like going out to go to the movie theater?
I like going out to the movie theater, but I know the convenience and I know the age of my kids, at least right now. I would say, and right now we have a basement, though it's not like beautiful, like upstairs. Downstairs is like where we go. And it's like, it's kind of what the previous owner made into a space. There's no windows. So it is dark. So we have a big TV down there. And that's where we go to just like cuddle and watch a movie. And that's where we have popcorn. That's where like you're allowed to make a mess more than like upstairs. Yeah. And so I do like the idea of a theater. I think so often like for clients that we're not doing as many theaters as we are doing like a big family area that has like toys and so it would be either one or the other, but I do like a designated spot, like somewhere that's a little bit more casual, you know, that's not necessarily like on the main level. I like the escape, and I like just the permission to be messy, and not messy, but you know what I mean, just like to dedicate that zone to what it is.
Being more carefree.
Yeah, and theaters actually are really fun. They're fun to design. Like,
fun
you know,
design.
you can have like a real attitude in there. The depth of it's nice. The viewing is all usually better because you don't get glare from windows. So if I could, I would. Yeah.
Sure. I feel like a more modern day answer to the theater is the media room, which we're seeing more, like O'Banion's was main level, and it's a room that you could close the doors on it. It was still like, theirs was a glass from the hallway. You could see into the room, which was darker and a lot of millwork and, you know, cool black and white artwork, but it was a room they could close the door on and still have the TV really loud. And it's further enough away from the main part of the house where the family might be having dinner or something. So if the boys want to go in and turn up the TV loud and scream at the TV and it's a football game, they could do that. So we see media rooms. For me, I feel like I'm just too practical. That if I do have the space, would I want to dedicate it to watching TV?
You're going to take like a few hundred square feet to be like, my home is going to be this. And it's like, what I use.
Also, like the biggest luxury for me is being able to like lay in bed and watch a movie comfortable in my mattress with my pillows and my pajamas.
I feel like you're a big proponent of that.
I am.
And I don't. And I'm like, man, that would actually be a ton of fun.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
I never do.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's fun.
It's
like she
because
said,
you have little kids.
Yeah.
You have no choice, Cori.
Yeah, that is true.
Our agency's gone.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I'm so
They're
sad.
really
there,
cute. They're really cute. But,
But
to that point, like a theater, if you do have kids and just like the media room of just like being able to have whatever season you're in with your life, it is really nice because like it's not just a theater. It can be like game area and kids can be coloring and there's still like a kitchenette or something happening behind you so that you can like grab some snacks or whatever. So it's not a dedicated, it's a little bit more, has more flex than just a theater room. So anyway, I'm down for the cinema, I'm down for theaters, but I also like really appreciate just a media room.
Yeah.
That's more than just the theater.
So is that like game? Like, yeah,
it's like a game room.
Okay.
And usually like theaters are usually like you close it off. You might have like a row of bar stools. You might have like a little bar, but it's like in the back corner. So it's not going to interrupt anybody like walking in front of you. So
it's
like,
usually
that's a
tiered
theater.
seating in a theater, like stadium wise, you can have
a
sofas.
media room is not.
The one that we did recently was not. It was one level, and I also could see that becoming flex space for our future homeowner, where the theater with the the graduated seating. I don't know what else that could be other than just sitting in a room facing one direction.
Yeah.
And watching a game, which in my mind, I'm like, I can't. I mean, I probably only go to the movies though like twice a year
because you don't have any tumblers.
Because I don't subscribe.
You need to get some tumblers. Yeah.
And you guys know that Suzanne she's the only person on the planet Earth that buys the plastic tumbler mug that says the name of the theater on the outside, Megaplex. It's bright purple.
And the popcorn container though, too,
and
right?
she goes home and washes them and then remembers to bring all this plastic with her so that she can get a better price on popcorn and drinks.
Agree to disagree.
Sue loves it so much she buys the dishes that match the theater. Yeah, and I'm like,
guys,
no.
I love going to the movies so much.
Just give me paper because I'm going to throw it away at the end of the night.
No, but then your kids are going to crumple it up in the middle of the movie, and then you're going to be like, God, the hell did you get sprayed everywhere? I don't know what happened. I missed the whole part of the movie because you didn't use your tumbler.
Do you guys each have one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Shoot, yeah.
No, but then also that means an entire cupboard is full of plastic dishes.
It's a basement.
If you're using them though,
you keep them in
that's
the
like
basement.
recycling.
Yeah.
So when you go to the movie, I'm going to run down to the basement.
Grab the supplies. Let's get in the car.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, good. Yeah. Have you ever left the tumblers?
Yeah, and I've been so mad.
Did you buy new ones?
No, but then the Sprite fell everywhere, and I'm like, damn it, I don't have my tumbler.
This is why we don't forget the tumbler.
Oh, man.
This stage of my life.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Value added.
You're
Anyway.
a good mom.
Mhm.
That's what. Yeah.
I'm a fun mom.
Yeah, you
Anyway.
are fun.
Cool. Agree to disagree. Next.
Okay, kids sleeping with parents in bed.
Crack cocaine.
This was the advice. I've
Mhm.
probably said this on this podcast before, but I was given advice when I had my first baby, who's now 23. And somebody said to me, never, ever, ever at my baby shower, never put your baby in bed with you. It's like crack cocaine for babies. If you let them ever sleep in your bed, they will never get out of your bed. And I was like, whoa. I was so impressionable. I was 25 years old when I had her that I was like locked on radar.
Yeah.
I'm never going to do that. And I never did. And I give that advice now at baby showers.
You gave that advice to me when I was having Grady.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
do with
remembered
it?
it. Oh,
What'd you do with that?
he has never slept with us.
Never slept
like
with you.
maybe once when he was sick,
Uh-huh.
but it's like
Yes.
it
Let me
never
tell
made
you,
it a habit.
I've broken my own rule with my puppy. Lady Bennett does sleep
Owns you
in between our pillows. And she does. And she's like mostly sleeping on top of Adam's head, like around the top of it, not like on his head.
Mm-hmm.
And he almost can't fall asleep without her little snore. Like
Really?
they're really
like
like,
a sound machine.
yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
funny.
Anyway, so I am against kids sleeping with parents in bed because I just know so many parents can't leave their kids because they're like, they won't sleep. They don't have me. And it becomes this real like codependent thing.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. How do you feel about kids sleeping in parents' beds?
Right. I know my head is cloudy because I'm still in it. You know,
Yeah.
like I'm a little.
Well, you either do or you don't. So
Okay.
you must
They
be
don't-
letting them.
No, they don't sleep with us.
No?
They don't sleep with that, but I won't say that they haven't, and like that I haven't welcomed it to. But then like, we
Is it
try
like a
and,
middle of
course
the
correct.
night thing though?
It's a middle of the night thing.
Okay.
They'll come in, but now like they're saying, like Manolo will say, "Mommy, I want take me to my bed. I want to go night night." You know, and so change the diaper, get the bottle, put him down in his own bed. But when they do come to you initially, I'm a cuddler.
Yeah.
So to not like just like pull them in and you're so tired and you really don't want to get up because you're like nice and warm and like, oh, okay, fine, just stay here just for a second. Okay, you want to go back to bed? Okay, now I'll do it. So like, I'll hold on to him for a sec.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh, it's gonna go by fast. But I do know the risk,
Yeah.
the
It is
definite
high
risk.
risk.
It is a high
Mhm.
stake game, guys.
It is a
So-
high-stake game.
So, yeah, and my sister, she like Jack slept in their bed till he was like 4. How-
Yeah.
Katie, when was it? It was crazy though. I was just
Yeah.
like, you guys gotta like rip that cord. Like you're not nice, and I know why.
Yeah.
You need to get your kid out of your bed. So yeah, this one I agree, but I'm a softie in that regard where I will put my cards in and I'll take the kid and
You let him sleep with you.
yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Or in the morning they'll come in and they'll just want to come cuddle, and I
Mhm.
love it so much because I'm just
Yeah,
so
because you're their
tired.
mom.
I'm their mom.
Yeah. That's how you
So,
feel.
Yep.
Great.
I think dads are a little bit just like you're not like because Mari
out.
totally would
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
if like I was okay with it,
Yeah.
but I just have to put the foot down because
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I try to do the
Old man
make
plays.
the harder. Yeah, exactly. I make the harder decision for
Yeah.
the greater good. I
Yes.
don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
Okay.
All right. That was a great one, but yeah, let's go.
Pools and jacuzzis, hot tubs. I don't know. Yeah, we put
Yeah.
jacuzzis in. I think
We were renting a house when we first opened Alice Lane and from our best friends. And he was like, oh my gosh, I got to get you guys a hot tub before you move into the house because you're going to love it. We're going to put it in the woods because there's all this wooded land behind us. Nothing will be cooler than having this hot tub out there.
mm-hmm.
So Adam would take the girls out because they were like elementary school and they like to use it. I don't know, you guys, for whatever reason, I blame it on the fact that I'm not a water sign. I'm a Leo. We're a sun sign, a fire sign.
Yeah, fire. Yeah.
I don't like getting wet. I don't know. I like getting super hot. So if we go to Lake Powell, I'm going to lay in the bow of the boat and get like completely fried. And I'll be the flag girl and I'll hold the flag if somebody's in the water. I'm just not going to get in the water.
Mm.
I don't really care to. If I get super hot, I might wade in a little bit at the beginning of the beach, but I don't want to like submerge and like swim. I don't want to water ski. I don't want to kneeboard. I'm good. I just want to get really hot.
Yeah.
So I don't like pools. I want a pool in that I would like to look at it out my window.
Very expensive view.
Yes. Also, Adam Bennett is a great swimmer.
Yeah.
Swam in college. Like he's an amazing swimmer and has done Ironmans and whatnot. So I know he would use the pool if we ever had one. I just don't care to get in it. And I really don't like all the chlorine on my body from the jacuzzi. It just, I'm so dry. My skin is. it just hurts me.
Yeah.
So I
get
don't
that.
know.
Send her a box.
I don't know. I don't really care about either of them. Like if I'm talking about my dream home, but I would definitely do a pool for my husband because I think they're beautiful. I like looking at them.
Yeah.
How about you?
I'm a Leo as well, but so I was just thinking while you were saying that, I love getting in the pool, but it's very strict conditions for me. Like
Yeah.
it has to be
Conditions
either
have to
way
be
hot.
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
It has to
Yeah.
be way hot outside. And I like,
Yeah.
I will never swim in the Pacific Ocean
Nice.
because it's too cold
Too
all
cold.
the time.
Agreed.
You can be in August.
Yeah.
And like,
You need a wetsuit.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can't.
You guys.
That's the only time I did when I had a wetsuit. And I don't like it. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
But it would be fun to have like a hot tub, especially like in a cabin in the mountains. Like that sounds fun. Right?
Sure.
I don't know. After like
But
snowboarding or
it'd be
skiing.
cold. You
Yeah.
just said that you were a fair weather pool person.
Yeah, so it has to be warm water for me. And
Yeah.
I mean, we went to California in October. It was like 85 degrees, and I got in the hot tub like in the middle of the day because I was like, this feels better
Yeah.
to my
Yeah.
skin. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
You guys like bath water.
yeah.
That's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm a Capricorn. Don't really. What am I? Earth? Is that
I have
what we
no
looked
idea.
at
Yeah,
last
I
time?
think you are
I
Earth.
think I was Earth.
But you're
But
born. I mean,
I must have been the time of day that I was born where like the tide was high because I love if I see a body of water, I'm like, let's find a ledge, let's jump in. That'd be really fun. Like even I worked right when I graduated from college from Utah State. I worked for a place in Park City, and I would drive past Deer Creek every single day. And work would end. I'd put on my swimsuit, put my other clothes on. I'd go stop by myself. I'd pull over, and I'd hop into Deer Creek. It's like impulsive, and so to have like a pool with a hot tub, because sometimes you do get cold and you need to go like warm up. Like I love it all.
Mhm.
Like I grew up like swimming in the Merced River, which is like freezing in Yosemite. I grew up by the Pacific Ocean, and absolutely I would get thrashed by those waves, but I love the water so much.
Yeah.
If you know anything about signs, January 17th, don't know what time of day, there's something there. I think when we were like driving over, like one of the places that we traveled recently, and we were like on a bridge, I'm like, is there a body of water? Like, is that?
Should we jump in
Should
from
we
there?
jump? What do you think? You wanna go?
Absolutely not.
Speaking,
But I love it.
speaking of
just
jumping
love
in, here's like another kind of
Yeah.
embarrassing story.
Do it.
We were just talking
Okay,
about that.
yeah.
This happened like 2 months ago.
Okay.
We went to I can't remember what the ponds, but it's in Mona, if you know where that is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
by
Mona-
Nephi.
Yes, the
Those
float
ponds
swing.
there. Yeah. So there was like
fun. We went there too.
there was a rager happening, like college
Yeah.
kids, definitely a lot younger than me. And but they were like, oh, like we were kind of across the pond from. I was like,
Yeah.
something happened over there. They're like jumping off. I want to go do that. So I like left my family. I have like my shirt off. I'm walking, and I'm getting to like the rager, and there's like a trail, and I pass, and they're like Cori, and I'm like look back, and it's two people who work at Alice Lane, Wendy, and then
Shut up.
Jill, and they're like, are you like a part of this rager? I have like my shirt off, and I'm like, no, I'm just coming over to like jump in
Check
this
it
thing.
out.
But it was,
The rope swing.
yeah, it was super fun. So
Mona rope swing's awesome.
it was way cold,
Very.
so I only did it one time,
Okay.
but it was, yeah,
Oh, you did it.
yeah.
Good
Yeah.
job.
So
I love
So
Mona
I feel
rope swing.
like I
Yeah.
feel like two of us would enjoy pools and jacuzzis, and
Agreed.
one of us wouldn't.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it'd have to be like really good conditions. Like I would never
Yeah.
Every condition. Like if you want to dare me to do something, I'll absolutely
green
do it.
like you jump in a green water pool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know for sure you would do that somehow. I don't know. Yeah. I would
I'm
never.
also the youngest of like teenagers, so I'm probably got punked a lot. Like as a kid, they're like, Sue will do it. Jump in, Sue.
I
true.
love it.
Oh, okay, agreed. With
Kids'
popcorn.
toys?
Kids' toys.
What about kids' toys?
I hate seeing them. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they're honestly all over my house all the time. There's nothing I can do.
You would love to
You
not see
want a
kids'
tree.
toys.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even in like a chest, because then it's just always going to be open, and then
And then
they're
they're
like, out
dumping the
everywhere.
whole thing out
Yes.
because
And I'm like,
Just cougars, just
Yeah.
like making a mess.
yeah. So I'm not down with that. I would just rather have it in its own space, dedicated space for it, and that's where they stay.
Old man
Not for
place.
me. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. I mean, I had kids the longest ago, obviously, because they're both out of the house now. But I didn't have the amount of toys that, like, I see what Suzanne buys, and I'm like, oh, all your wealth is in toys and art. She has the most toys I've ever seen in my life. We had friends who had their living rooms as toy rooms for their kids. They didn't furnish them yet because when they moved into their homes, they were just in this, we're going to raise our kids.
Yeah.
The kids need a toy room. It's right off the kitchen. I don't want to be cleaning it up, so we're just going to keep everything there. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've never seen so many toys in my life. And I feel like if you have a whole room dedicated to toys, then they'll continue to breed toys because there's room for the toys, right?
Yeah.
I've never bought that many toys. Granted, I only had 2 girls. It usually seemed like they loved one thing at the time, and so they were doing that thing. But I don't know. I had a little hamper. I remember next to the sofa, between a wall and a sofa, so nobody could see it. And like just whatever they had, whatever they were into, would be there that maybe they'd want to watch a movie with, like their blanket or their stuffed animal and a few things. But I just didn't really have to deal with a lot of toys because they just didn't have them. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
I'm
it's a different age. Yeah.
100%.
I know. I heard Sue the other day saying, "Oh no, I'm so sorry, son, that happened to you. I'll stop by and grab a toy for you on the way home." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, where will you put more toys
I left
at?"
my son at school and he had no ride home. He's like, "Mom, is anyone going to pick me up today?" I'm like, "Oh shoot."
Suzanne was like, "I'll
Calling
pick you
the
up.
nanny.
I'll pick you up, and I'll pick you up with a toy."
How soon do you want me to get there? Because I can stop and get a toy if you like.
I know, his dad. I was like,
"Go get ice cream."
"Sue, not more toys. There's no room for more toys. The basement is up to your neck in toys."
I would say Grady is very jealous of your guys' toy collection, though.
It's legit, right?
Yeah. Nolan gave him a car. Like, he still talks about that.
Oh.
Yeah. So
He's
How do
just developing
Sue,
relationships.
Sue, how do you
Yeah.
feel about kids' toys?
Okay,
We didn't ask
if
you
you
yet.
It took a long time to have kids. So when we did, we're just like, all right, let the gates open.
whatever you want.
It was really so stupid. It's so dumb. But luckily we had all boys. So at least like that's like helped the stream of
Did
toys
that-
not to increase.
Did that keep
yeah,
you from
poor-
buying more toys?
Poor Manolo. It's the uncles and aunts. But
You
poor
just
Manolo,
keep buying. You just keep buying Nolan toys, and then the kids get his
It'll be
toys.
fine. Yeah, they'll grow
Yeah.
into it. You know, and that way, just like the hand-me-downs. I was the youngest. I get that. Anyway. But
So
yeah.
Louis doesn't need stuff.
No, he's fine.
No, yeah,
He's fine. He didn't play with baby stuff anyway because there was all these like big boy toys anyway. So
That's true.
Knives and stuff. You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that. Like in the basement, we just like throw when toys migrate upstairs. I just throw them down the stairs and then just like we corral it all to the basement. But I hate seeing them, and I have one basket upstairs that has some stuff, and that's it. And then it usually just goes downstairs because I do hate seeing it downstairs. Lord of the Flies. I could care less. Like it's just like let them be boys.
Yeah.
And they climb on everything and they're grabbing and there's Duplos everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, like, it's so chaotic in my house right now. The stage I'm in, we call them the diaper gang because they're just the absolute worst. Like, they just,
Her
like,
2 youngest are still in
I have a
diapers.
3
That's
and a
the
1-year-old,
diaper
and
gang.
they are
Yeah.
just like, what can we get into? You know, so, shoot. So, yeah, I'm a toy. But, yeah, if I can I'll corral it upstairs, but then just, like, let them be kids, and I'll buy them more.
So if there's room, like you say, having a toy room where you don't have to go and sort through it and constantly be cleaning
Especially
it.
for the winter time.
Yeah,
Like, where we have, like, snowy winters, like, you just have to have, like,
a room.
something to like have them dedicate to like build Duplos or build Legos or build like
Yeah.
you know
Mm-hmm.
You did say something in a podcast one time. I think we were talking about
yeah
toy rooms or something, but you said, and this like rang true to me because I obviously still remember it. But you're like, your kids are just going to be where you want to be, and that's like so
Yeah.
true. If I
Yeah.
put stuff in the toy room, they're just going to take it back out and
Mm-hmm.
you know
it will
bring
migrate
Yeah.
yeah
So it's like, how far do I want to go to clean this up? You know what I mean? Do I want to take it back to the toy room, or do I want to have something here where I can put it in? You know,
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
that's true
Yeah.
it's true so yeah
It's a tough one.
toys agree
Yeah.
disagree
Well, I would
You know,
do. I would
also
do
your
anything
girls were so
for
sweet
little
they,
kids
like, they
again.
played with like coins and like beautiful eggs
know.
and stones like
When
my kids would like
I
that
know,
would be like
I feel like
slingshot into
when
your
Jane was
eyeball,
like
you know?
7, so
Yeah.
like a year younger than Nolan, she asked for a metal detector for Christmas because she
Oh,
wanted to
little
go to
grandma.
the city park and go find stuff.
calmly just go search for a treasure
Yeah. Yeah. And she did. She collected
Wow.
coins and just other stuff, rocks.
just like curious like little
Yes. So
guys-
curious. Yeah.
Those are the
like
best. Those are the best toys. It's like,
Right?
go find some toys outside.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know.
Exactly.
she
Yeah.
wanted
Do
it.
some,
We
like,
thought it was
community
so
service.
awesome.
Clean up. Pick
Yeah.
up the tin cans.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I was talking to myself because I was at church with my kids, and like they're just like the living worst. So, like nobody gets anything out of it. And I'm like seeing like this like row of like little girls, and they have like one boy or something. And I'm like, that's like coconut milk. That is smooth and calm, and they're just like, and then mine's like hot sauce, hot sauce, hot sauce, just like. Choo, choo, choo. Anyway, they're just nuts. I keep buying those kids toys to try and keep them busy.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so tired. Oh,
Kids'
shout
toys.
out if you hear me.
Living
Yes.
room. Who likes them?
I don't remember what this one was about when we wrote it down, but
You know, it might be just like everyone has like a family room usually that's like a really relaxed place. That's like typically off the kitchen or somewhere you're actually going to spend the majority of your time. Where toys might end up, living room is going to be more formal. Like how many of us like a living room, a formal living room? You have one that's beautiful. Mine is kind of like, I would probably call that a living room because I think like we're majority downstairs. Like if the kids are like going to be a mess, I think it's nice.
Like the
I
adults,
living
your
room.
adults would gather upstairs
Yeah.
and you'd send all the kids downstairs to go
Like
have a good
living room,
time.
I think if we've had some clients that are just like, I'm not going to use the living room, but I'd use a library or a den or study or something like that for the whole family. And so we'll convert that. But I still kind of think it's just like a little bit like, it's a little bit more of a kept space that doesn't get as wrought as some of the other areas.
It makes you feel a little bit more humane when you open the door and there's this lovely room that
It's like,
isn't.
please come into my life and think that I'm organized and totally balanced.
Yeah, it's a facade.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, I like it just because it's
I
something.
think that
like, it's
extra
nice.
space is really nice on a plan, like you said, because it could be your music room, for
Yes.
instance. It's
Yeah.
probably your living room on plan.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I was like.
So it's like your hobby room, or if you want to study or library, tons of books, have a bar in there, like
It's kind of your
a DC
interest,
client.
your personal interest. That's just like
Your personal
that's what you're
interest
gonna
room.
like bring people into if you want to talk to them quietly
Yep.
and have them like understand who you are and what you're interested in. Like it's very obvious. Like if we were to go to your house, you have your music room, and I would anybody would want to sit in there and be like, so cool that he's a musician. Let's sit in there. We just like took pictures of this project in DC. And like they have this like red lacquered library, and like I was like a moth to a flame. I was like, I'm gonna go in there, you know. Like it was so amazing. I'm like, that's the space that I'd want to sit, you know, void of like all the chaos and noise of all the other things. And yeah, I agree. I love a living room or whatever you want to make it, you know. So it's just a little bit nicer.
Yeah. I agree. I wouldn't just dedicate it to being a living room. I don't know when I would use that. Because then I would just go in there to relax, and then the kids would just. That's yeah. But I would a music room obviously that I would enjoy. So what your living room at your house? Do you go in there and just like to relax?
Right, love
How
letters
often
on
do
your
you use it?
secretary.
I don't use it at all. I mean, I've maybe gone in there to take a phone call away from the family room where the TV's going or cooking's going on or something. Or if somebody wants to stop by and talk for a second, I'd be like, oh, come in, sit down. And we would just sit in there right off the front door. More than anything, I feel like we just like lifestyle and shoot it for lookbooks. And
That's awesome.
it's, you know,
It's your
it's
music
kind of
room.
nerdy,
It's
but
your-
I do have this really practical side to me, which nobody believes, but there's a part of me, I probably brought this one up, that I'm like, does it make sense to have them? Like the practical side of me is like, why do we have this room? You know, but I also wouldn't use it if it was something else, because across from that is my home office, and Adam and I both use that room. So I don't know.
When you look into your living room though, you're like, yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I think that's totally worth it.
It makes me really happy. Yeah, for sure. And like if I open the front door, that's the room that people will see into that space. So, you know, I think it's one of those things where you present, you know, your best foot forward whenever you can. Or if they were in the kitchen, I'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I got to put away whatever, or I got to load these dishes in. And there's always a million caveats to why that space is just used and lived in. You know, but yeah, the sofas don't get sat on as much, and the fireplace rarely gets used. And I think a few years I've done my Christmas tree in the living room so that it's in the front window.
That's cool.
And so we've had Christmas morning in there, but inevitably I feel like we want to be closer to the kitchen. So if we get hungry or in the middle of Christmas, we can eat and then get back into it, or make it last longer and have Christmas movies on or something, you know?
Yeah.
Totally.
So
Stay
I
in the
feel
mood.
like, where the living room is far enough away from, you know, the back of the house where we live.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess if I were to build again, I'd still put a living room in there, because I love to dress it. I love getting a mantle beautiful and, you know, making a space pretty. So what's it used for? I don't know. I couldn't justify it gun to my head, but it's just pretty.
As long as you love it, though,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
So I like
a
it.
living
You're a
room.
yes to a living
If
room?
I were to like rebuild, I would make a living room or some type of. I would make it something.
Yeah,
like,
mine
that could be nicer.
Mine would always be
a music room.
a music room. just something.
I could see us doing like a library / like living room. Like I think it would have to be dual functioning for me to justify. I think the practicality of like, what else can this be giving back so we actually use it?
Yeah.
I think like a library living room sounds awesome.
Mhm.
My husband loves books and we have a group of them that like, you just need the place to display it. So the way, I justify it. I agree with the living room.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
What
agree
about-
too.
Engineered hardwood. And I want to like see if your
Oh.
feelings have changed on this one.
No.
I know we've probably talked about this over the years on the podcast. I personally have a sand and finish floor, meaning we went and bought the wood planks, or the hardwood floor guy did, white oak, installed them all, water popped the grain, stained it, like, the whole, all the different layers of lacquer, the very long, tedious process of doing a sand and finish floor. Granted, this was like nine years ago or so. Now everything's engineered. You get a perfectly finished baked product in a factory where you don't have to do it on site with all the chemicals, everything else. And I will say my floors are quite yellow for being white oak
Oh,
because of the time, the sun, like wherever rugs aren't. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they just darken and
like if you pull up your rug, you'll see where the sun
Yeah.
is hit and the sun is not.
totally.
Yeah.
And I think with engineered floors, I think you get more of a color fastness because of whatever they're able to do in the factory. So I know before on the podcast I've said I would do engineered if I were to do it again, but I do have a great sense of pride that they are sand and finish because everybody does engineered these days. And the engineered floors that have been in fashion for a while look so dry to my eye. They just look almost like you could get a sliver from them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're quite grayed out. The blondes are really, really, really not yellow at all. They're quite white and gray. And
The finish doesn't look as like built up or thick on it.
yeah.
I
And
totally
so
agree.
there's something about mine that in my brain feel more quality and more solid and thicker
Mhm.
than that. And I know that mine could come in and be resanded. If somebody wanted to buy the home and sand it and stain them dark, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever, that's all there for them in the future. And I know they say with engineered that you should be able to do another sand
One
and
time,
finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on
It's
how
thick
thick.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has to
Yeah,
be
but
like
it
2
might be
millimeters or
just as
something,
easy to
really.
pop them out and pop new ones in, right?
Yeah.
Where I think that'd be a lot harder with the sand and finish floor. So I don't know. I guess if I was building again, I don't know.
This is where Mari and I differ because I'm totally fine with the engineered floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it just because I understand
Yeah.
why they do it.
Well, and there's such a gamut of what's
Yeah.
available. So there are
Yeah.
some really beautiful brands, and in my mind, I'm like, yeah, that's what I would do. I would do an engineered floor, control the finish, know it's going to stay that color for a long time, and not do all the brain damage of holding up the whole construction site for weeks, right?
Yeah.
While they make that whole environment dust proof. Like it takes a lot of labor to get there,
A
and
lot of steps.
yeah, and I don't know. I feel like even though you can spend quite a bit for an engineered floor if you get one of the great brands, but I still think it's going to be $6s to a sand and finish floor. I don't know.
As far as price,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like,
sand and finish, the labor on it's going to be a lot more.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe you're not. I guess because you never really look at how much it's going to cost all in. You're just looking at okay,
Like per square foot.
this is it per square foot.
Yeah.
Finishing, it's going to be an extra $2 to $3. But then somehow there's all of these other preps and steps and everything else like that. So, but if you do a really lovely high-end engineered wood
Yeah.
floor, right? We've seen
Yeah.
those get up there.
And they go down in like a day. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like,
Yeah.
you
You gotta
know,
watch it like the stock market.
yeah.
Yep.
I'd be okay, I guess to answer the question, I'd be okay with an engineered floor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. I mean, obviously, I haven't. Like Mari said, she would not do it again.
What do you have right now?
It's a white oak.
Engineered?
Yeah, and it is
And she doesn't like it?
no. She says like she doesn't like the scratching, but I'm like it to me. It's still real wood,
Yeah.
at least a portion of it, or
Yeah,
I mean all of it
veneer.
is. So when it scratches, I'm like that's just gonna happen, and I'm
Yeah.
okay with it, you know.
Yeah.
But she wants it to like be pristine, and I think a thicker finish would help that. But
But even with like a sand and finish like that, and that is the thing of a sand and finish versus an engineered, is that sand and finish, like if like the dog like scrapes it up, like you have to sand the entire thing. It is not just 2 planks that you pop up and replace with your backstock that you ordered extra of. Like you have to sand like the whole thing so that the finish stays consistent, or at least that area. So like they're still gonna scratch, you
Yeah.
know, like sand and finish, and sometimes even deeper because like I think the actual top layer of the engineered wood is so baked on that, and maybe I don't know what your scratches look like, but I feel like I remember when you had your sand and finish and we were looking at engineered woods. And at the time, you know, with the white oak and everything, they had like this like really great cerusing and stuff. And so you could really like feel the grain of it and like get some really cool finishes. And to like, we've talked to builders, if you were to try and like achieve that look into sand and finish, it would have been like 3x even what you spent.
Yeah, so expensive.
To try and get it and to try and recreate that the next time something like bad happens, that'd be harder. So I like engineered just because you can get a great look for less than it would cost you to get sand and finish. And if you have like Hellions for children, like it would be easier to just like pop out a plank and throw them back in. And so I would say engineered just because I can control it and I can hopefully, I think there's enough, a massive gamut of just like, I'm always going to like the ones that are a little bit more narrow, that feel a little bit more old school and feel a little bit more natural. As long as they have something like that makes it feel like it could have been a sand and finished, you know, that it doesn't have like an age or a timestamp on it, then I'd go to engineer. I think it just like makes more sense.
I was going to say to get the older home look, I know there's like a 2-inch. I don't think you're going to be able to get that in a sand. I think you have to go sand and finish, but there's also going to be so much value in getting that matchstick floor because it's not going to be super sought after right now. It's not trending. So you're going to be able to get that for like $5 a foot, $6 a foot, you know, and then do the labor on top. I think if you want that kind of look, you're going to go sand and finish, but you're also going to appreciate it forever. And you're going to have a great story to tell and it's going to have a great look. So if that's the case, if you want something special, do sand and finish.
And my parents have that. They have like 1911, the 2-inch, like little, and it is so cute. And we're getting ready to, I think, to lift everything off all the furniture out. And I think she wants to refinish them. So we're very much in this land of the sand and finish, but it's a pain. The tush to like move everything to sand everything.
Well, and also to seal off everything because you're going to have all this dust airborne.
Where's Grandma and Grandma going to go?
Yeah, your house.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Always room for one more. Anyway, so gosh, I agree and disagree.
Definitely.
I think we agree with both.
Okay, we probably are out of time. Okay,
for a long time.
We have so many more to go, but you guys, thank you so much for joining us on Agree to Disagree. If you have any questions that you're wondering if we agree with or disagree with, please send them in too.
Controversial ones would be fun.
Yes, we'd like to fight.
Spicy, yeah.
Yes.
To Dear Alice at AliceLaneHome.com.
Thank you, Cori. Also, shout out to the website. If you guys haven't found a chance to look at it yet, I have been making huge, vast dumps of brand new product into it. I can't even tell you how many hundreds of things we've just added to the website. So go shop AliceLaneHome.com. It's really, really good and juicy. Cori and I have also been working on this next generation of products. I can't wait for you to see them.
So excited.
So check us out at AliceLaneHome.com online. We'll catch you guys next time. Hey, thanks for listening. If you like our show, please leave a 5-star rating.